So, just to respond to what he said, just like I did before with Paul, I'm going to do the same thing with Joshua. I'm going to, yes, you guessed it, continue to read along in the chapter because it's like I said before, when you don't read the whole thing, well, this is how people, just get these kind of interesting beliefs. This is Joshua chapter 5. I'll start at verse 5. Now, all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness, by the way, as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed because they had not obeyed the voice of the Lord. If you're trying to conquer a land, that's not a good thing to happen to your soldiers. Keep that in mind. Anyway, unto whom the Lord sware that he would not shew them the land which the Lord sware unto their fathers that he would give us, a land that flowed with milk and honey. And their children, whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised because they had not circumcised them by the way. What is by the way? Well, go back to verse 5. All the people that were born in the wilderness by the way, as they came up with it. So you can see the same people, Joshua circumcised them. And it says that he circumcised them because they were uncircumcised because they had not been circumcised by the way in the wilderness. So in the end, he did do it. It says, and it came to pass when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places in the camp till they were whole. And the Lord said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off of you. Wherefore, the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. Now, the last thing I wanted to say was, obviously it's clear that he eventually did circumcise them, but the last thing I want to say is that, sometimes certain people say, well, it's better to leave people uncircumcised if you're trying to, go ahead and fight, because you can't fight sore down there. So that was like one way of looking at the reason why, you're going through all these fights. So that was one reason why they think that they kind of, suspended it. Notice that they didn't reject it. Even in Exodus chapter 4, I believe Moses was basically being pursued by God. God was going to kill him because Moses did not circumcise his son. The only reason that God stopped and relented was because his wife, Zipporah, the Ethiopian woman, circumcised their child. And so God held up. That's how serious God was about it. I could say more, but I know it's 7:30 and there's a lot of people on the panel, but I think that's pretty clear.
Want to respond, Brother Zeki?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, basically, what I just stated was reiterated when he says after they were circumcised until they were made whole. That's saying until they healed, because you wouldn't go to war. We saw that when the Simeon and Levi went out against who? The Canaan, the other Hamites, when they were fighting them. Remember when he told them to circumcise themselves because of Dinah, their sister? And then when they did it, they went in and slew all of them, slew the whole city. So, yes, what I was just saying was from the beginning, the statement was made that the Israelites, without circumcision, weren't a people. So now I went back and showed in Joshua 5, they were the children of Israel prior to the circumcision, and then they were circumcised and they still were the children of Israel. That's, like I say, that's the whole point of what I was saying. Like I said again, until they were made whole. By the way, they're in the wilderness. By the way, they hadn't went to the promised land yet. They were on their way to the promised land. So those, and remember, only a couple people came out of the wilderness that was a part of the people that went in. Remember, the Most High took out those parents and stuff in the wilderness because of their disbelief, because of their disingenuous heart. So those children that were there were the children that had not been circumcised by their parents. They had not been circumcised by their parents. Therefore, Yahushua ben Nun had to circumcise them until they became whole. So let's look at that part one more time. It says, let's see, and I'll share my screen real quick. Let's see. Let's go back up just for 1 second. All right, let's see. Yahushua chapter 5. All right, verse 6. Let me screen share this real quick. In verse 6, it says, for the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, Mizraim, were consumed. Hebrew 8:552, right? In a bad sense, you know, they were consumed, wasted, because they obeyed not the voice of Yah, unto whom the Lord sware that he should not show them the land which Yah sware unto their fathers, that he would give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, and their children whom he raised up in their stead. Then Yahushua was circumcised, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not been circumcised by them. They had not circumcised them by the way. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode. The word abode is the Hebrew word yashab, sit down, remain, wait, settle, tarry, right? In their places in the camp till they were made whole. Hebrew 2:421, to revive, to recover, quicken, repair, restore to life, revive. So if you are cutting flesh off in the nether regions, you need time to revive your vitality. You need time to heal. So that's what it's talking about. So like I said, that was just going off that. So that still had nothing to do with what we're talking about in the beginning, that the children of Israel, not the children of Israel, and circumcision makes somebody an Israelite. It does not. It was required. If you look up the word circumcision in any Bible dictionary, if you look up the word circumcision, this is what we see. I'll show it to you real quick. All right. Here we go. So let me show this on the screen real quick. All right. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll hold it up to it. Circumcision. And if you guys are watching the video, you can just pause it at that moment. And it's circumcision on page 100, right? In the Bible dictionary, right? In concordance. And that's the circumcision. You can just pause it or whatever through the video so you can read it and get to it. And there's a portion that says right here, when a foreigner wanted to enter the commonwealth of Israel, he was required to submit to circumcision. Genesis 34:14-7 and through 22, and in Exodus 12:48. So that's what that's talking about. So they had to heal. And the ones that were in the wilderness, their parents never circumcised them. Yahushua circumcised them. They had to recover, recuperate, and then they were ready to go to battle. But